Hey YouTube, I just want to kick this video off by saying a massive thank you. I've reached 100 subscribers and that's all down to you guys, so thank you very much. I am truly honoured and blessed. I started this YouTube journey, first lockdown of last year, so I haven't been doing it too long, but I always used to comment in the gaming community's videos for years and years before that. Bit of a lurker as well. But I've really been enjoying doing this. Thank you to everyone that watches my videos. I know the editing and things aren't the best, but yeah, I'm gradually learning the software as I go through. And thank you for the thumbs up and most especially the comments. That's what I really enjoy about this. Liaising with you guys and discussing this fantastic hobby and subject of video games and the playing and the collecting of the games, to tell the truth. So thank you again. Much appreciated. Lots of videos coming up. I do plan on doing a little room tour, man cave tour very, very soon. Just waiting for a few more bits to be sorted out. I'm waiting for the right time and maybe the evenings to brighten up a little bit, because my evenings are the better time to shoot videos. Although today everyone's out of the house, I'm doing this at lunchtime. So there you go. And this 100th sub video sort of is quite poetic really, because this is going to be a video of my collection of really where it all started for me, the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. Now when I first got my Spectrum, I got the Spectrum 48K, and it wasn't the rubber key version, it was the version that its keys depressed into the kind of board itself. And I did a Spectrum Memories video quite a while ago now, so please feel free to go back and check that one out, where I just discuss little tidbits and how I got into the Spectrum and things like that. But I got that around 1987 and thoroughly loved it. I mean, that was the thing that really started me getting into video games and computer games proper. Prior to that I had the Binatone TV game system, which was basically like a Pong clone. But when I decided to when I became a collector again, I didn't want to get my 48K. This was the system I always wanted, and I think if I didn't upgrade to the Master System, I was always going to get this one. I'll consider it an upgrade to the Master System anyway. Just more vibrant colours and yeah, that extra graphical fidelity. But I used to go around a friend called Rob's, and if I wasn't playing the Spectrum at mine, the second most place I would be playing the Spectrum games would be around my mate Rob's, and he had this grey version Spectrum Plus 2 128K. Loved the machine, the convenience of having everything consolidated into one unit was great. I've also got a gun which I've got mounted on my wall up there, and this Sinclair Spectrum joystick which came in this bundle. I got this for a really good price back in the day, and it's connected to my CRT via an RGB modded cable, and it looks great. It's really, really good. So I'm going to clear the deck and on with the games. So I've got about 75 games in the collection. They're games that I owned back in the day, that I played around friends, that I wanted to own. And I'm not going to lie, there's a load of games here I've bought through being a collector and just finding out what looks interesting on, top 50 Spectrum games, and just watching loads of videos. I made a little list of all these games that look really interesting and wanted to check out. And I'm not going to BS you guys, a lot of these I still haven't played, so I'm not going to make up some rubbish about them. I'm just going to go through these quite quickly. I'm going to start with the single small standard edition games and then work my way through to the bigger box versions. I'm going to start with you. This is one I did have back in the day, and it was on Crash magazine, which I only got every now and again. There's loads of demos and even free games on just one cassette. Fantastic value for money. Don't get that anymore for obvious reasons. But the two games here that I want to point out are Rockfall, which I think I was kind of addicted to that game. It's basically a Boulder Dash clone, and there was a few versions of Rockfall. The other Rockfall I've got in here is actually different to this one, and I really wanted to get this one again. But yeah, I loved that game, played it so much, and Master Blaster, although I can't seem to get that one to boot up on this, which is a bit of a shame. There's that one. Did my research, and Joe Blade 2 seemed to be the strongest title out of the 3. My mate Rob had one of these. What one I can't remember, but there's that one. Next is Finders Keepers. These aren't in any particular order whatsoever, just as I'm grabbing them. I think it's some sort of platformer game, isn't it? Don't you have to go and get a cake for your beloved, the king's daughter or something? You're a knight. Can't remember. Trapdoor. Graphics on this are excellent. You don't get the attribute clash in this. So Bert remains blue and solid as he navigates through the levels. Used to love Trapdoor with what was it called? Willie Rushton, wasn't it? That was it. Used to love that show. Next we've got Bomb Jack. Loved this. This was one of my first initiations into the arcade, really, where I used to play this down my local community centre. Loved it, and this is a very good solid conversion of the game, and cheekily on the back they show you the Amstrad and Commodore 64 versions with their more rich colour palette, but the Spectrum version is still very, very good, I think. Next, another game that I absolutely loved, and I had the Hit Squad version back in the day, and that's Rastan. Side-scrolling slasher, hack and slash. Bloody hard. Got it on the Master System as well. Really, really good. Horace Goes Skiing. Really ugly character is Horace, bless him, but synonymous with the Spectrum. Got that one. And just Hungry Horace. How to get those. I've got vague memories of playing those around someone's, but I don't think it was Rob's. I can't remember who else it was. Next we got Way of the Exploding Fist. Used to own this and really enjoyed playing this, and played the Commodore 64 version with my friends, Andrews. That was really good. Sooty and Sweep. I used to love this game. Going through Matthew's house's sweep with your wand and butterflies and things were sort of stopping you progressing through the level. It's kind of like an action platformer, I guess, where you had to collect all of Sweep's bones. But yeah, I used to love that game. Got fond memories of actually setting it up, the Spectrum that was, with my TV one day on top of my stairs in the hallway for some reason. I just found it really comfortable, just sat on the stairs, and I don't know. Vague memories of the Spectrum days. But yeah, really enjoyed this game. We got Rogue Trooper. Really enjoyed this. This was one of the, or maybe even the first game I actually completed, and I was chuffed to bits with this. I go over this in my Spectrum Memories video, but I had to pause the game. Again, there was no save states back then, and I went to my auntie and uncle's, and I was just cracking nuts to get back and play and finish this off, which I did, and yeah, I was chuffed to bits to get this. Really good game. Next we got Xeno, where you're on these kind of hovercraft things, and it's a bit like a slight isometric view of the pitch, like an ice hockey arena really, where you get a little directional cursor to hit this puck, I think, into the goals. It's supposed to be really good, this one. Haven't played it, just seen some gameplay online, and it was thoroughly recommended, that one, so that one. Double Dragon, classic game, but pants on the Spectrum. I didn't like it anyway. Next, two classics. Manic Miner and Jet Set Willy. Love these games. For me, Jet Set Willy just pips Manic Miner. I just preferred the gameplay in that one. Really good. Next we've got Dan Dare. My mate Rob had this one, and I remember the graphics being quite good in this. But yeah, don't really remember too much about it. Some sort of action platformer again. A lot of these are platformer-esque. This is that version of Rockfall. Yeah, it's different graphically to the one that I played on that demo, and I really want to find that one. But yeah, look at the box art on that. I don't know if you can see it. Like a sketch drawing. pencil drawing. It looks like we're chalk in charcoal or something. Hong Kong Phooey. I got this free from a guy. He sent me a couple versions of this game that just didn't load. This is years ago now. And as a apology, he sent me this one with a list of games that I could choose from, and I chose Hong Kong Phooey. Don't know what the game's like, but I used to love the cartoon. Really, really cool. That one. Another really cool show I used to watch back in the day, which no doubt many of you guys did, was Nightmare. I haven't booted this one up yet at all. Looks really interesting, and it's Nightmare. I used to love that show. This is regarded as a classic. I remember my mate's dad used to play this one, Beachhead, but I've never played it. It's kind of where aren't you on a gun turret and the planes are flying into the screen. Yeah, quite a highly regarded game, that one. This is a recent purchase, which is in a upcoming pickups video. That's Rolling Thunder, and it plays quite well actually. For the Spectrum, the graphics are good. Obviously, it's quite monochrome if memory serves, but yeah, plays all right. It's tough, but I didn't mind that one. God, I haven't booted this up since back in the day, so I'm keen to give this one a go soon. Akari Warriors. I think I had this one on a bigger box compilation, if memory serves. Don't know, can't remember. Such a long time ago. A Hit Squad game. My mate Rob had this one. I used to like playing it, but it was hard, and I do remember this one would be quite temperamental booting up, but when it did, we used to enjoy playing it. Salamander, which is it Darius? Is it Darius? Can't remember. I think it is. I used to like this one. I saw Paul Bads pick this one up, Mr. Bads, and it's Vindicator. I really liked it. I got quite into it, but couldn't really progress too far. I got a couple levels in it, and it switches, doesn't it, from a top down to a side scroller. Yeah, I liked it. I haven't played it since way back when. This one I liked, and I think it came on a demo, or was it part of a free game on Crash Magazine or something like that, and that's Cosmic Wartoad. I thought that was really cool, and I thought he was a real cool character. Looks quite a bit like a turtle, really. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, or Hero Turtle, if you're a Brit. Next we've got compilation. Ghost Hunters, Dizzy, Robin Hood and Vampire. Quattro. Adventure compilation. Love Dizzy. Dizzy 1 was the first one I did complete from the Dizzy series, and I completed all the others. Well, Treasure Island, Fantasy World. I don't know if I completed Magic World, but yeah, I really like the Dizzy games. Sorry about that, David, but I do. Oh yeah, another classic, Back to School. The follow-up to School Days, is that right? Yeah, it is. That's the right way around, isn't it? And speak of the devil, here it is. Don't really remember playing these too much, but I'm aware of them and going around friends' houses, they had them. My friend Rob had this one as well, The Curse of Sherwood. Don't remember too much about it. It's like a plan view adventure game, is it? Oh no, it's not a plan, it's more of a side scroller. Yeah, but I do remember that cover art. Next one I've discovered since becoming a collector, and that's Bruce Lee. How the hell this one missed me back in the day, I do not know. I don't know anyone who had this one. A huge Bruce Lee fan, as many young lad was in the 80s and the 70s. And it's a really good game. Plays really, really well. Simple, but plays well. Next here we got Booty. I picked this up in a collections video quite a little while ago now, and it wouldn't boot up, ironically, as the name suggests. But this version works, and I'm over the moon with that. It took me a little while to get there, but I got it in the end. This tends to come up on a lot of hidden gems for the Spectrum and top 50s and things like that. So yeah, looking forward to giving that one a go. Dizzy, Treasure Island Dizzy. Love this game. I can't remember if this one or Fantasy World's my favourite of the Dizzies. I know I played that one beforehand. Both really good. Let's go with this one. This is a very recent purchase and plays quite well. Quake. Again, this comes up on a lot of top 50 lists and things like that. So yeah, this one I wasn't aware of until fairly recently, really. Chucky Egg 2. Not a patch on the first one, which is here. And my mate Tony, whenever he used to come round prior to lockdowns and things, we would boot this up, come up here to the games room, play this one, and just have a whale of a time. It's so addictive, this game. This has got to be one of my favourite Spectrum games of all time. Definitely. It's just so playable, so addictive. Street Gang Soccer. I used to love this and played it for hours and hours. This one of the most nostalgic and memorable games for me personally for the Spectrum. Just absolutely love the game. Dizzy, the original Dizzy. Fantasy World Dizzy, excellent game. Magic Clan Dizzy. I don't think I have played this one. Looking at the screenshots, it looks quite samey to these two. This one I used to really enjoy as well. Cybernoid. Difficult, really difficult, but I used to love it. Again, it was really addictive. I wouldn't get too far, but each time I played, just get that little bit further through the stages. Loved it. And booted it up a few weeks ago and still had a good time with it. Monty on the Run, still haven't gave that one a decent bash. That was in my most recent pickups video, I believe. Ant Attack, played this for the first time last week. Plays really, really well. I don't think you can change the keys in this though, if memory serves, which is a bit of a no-no. Because I do prefer to play the Spectrum games using the keyboard. Maybe the odd one with the joystick isn't too bad, but I just find it much more responsive with the keys. This is a lovely isometric game where you've just got to get through and rescue your friends, but it's tough. I haven't really got too far in it, but I love the feeling of the game. Match Day 2 is supposed to be very good on the Spectrum. I haven't played it. Daley Thompson's Decathlon. Many sore fingers playing this, tapping those keys. Yeah, great fun. Breaking those joysticks. Donkey Kong. Bloody hard, but a good little conversion. Right, nearly at the end of the single cases. One of my favourite games for the system as well, and many others no doubt. Target Renegade. I had the Hit Squad version back when, or did I have the slightly bigger box version? Can't remember. 3D Star Strike, booted that up the other day. It was alright. I probably need to give it a bit more time. Didn't really dedicate too much time to it. This game I really loved as well. Jetpack. Used to really like this one back in the day. And this one came on a demo tape, I think, or something like that. It was a copy. I can't remember. But I used to love this game. Rockstar Ate My Hamster. A recent-ish pickup. And a game I remember playing around someone's house. And it's quite a infamous, famous one is Attic Attack. And that one does look really good. I'm looking forward to giving that one a bash. Right, those are the single case, small case standard games. I'm going to go on to the larger case games and then the box games. Right, so for these, I went on a little holiday break down to a caravan in Cornwall, and we went out to this local open air market. And lo and behold, there was a stall there with games and films, Blu-rays and things like that. But this guy had loads of games. and they were really good prices. I got New York Warriors, which looks like it's loosely based, or has that vibe of Warriors the movie, or the Warriors the movie from the early 80s. Firelord and Iridium. Iridium is the one I really want to play. A lovely top-down space shooter, and it looks like it controls really, really well. So yeah, I did give that one a little blast, enjoyed it. Firelord's supposed to be quite cryptic, but a very good game. Operation Thunderbolt, follow up to Operation Wolf. Dark Fusion, don't really know too much about that one, but looks quite interesting from the back. Yeah, horizontal space shooter. Nice looking graphics actually on that one. Cabal, remember playing this one way back when. A bit like Operation Wolf, where it's a shooter, on-screen shooter. Ninja Spirit, this one looks quite good as well, and even the graphics again look really good. Nice sort of fantasy element to them. Box is a bit battered, but it's all there and all complete. Not a bad conversion. Outrun, lovely cover, nice summery 80s vibes there. Beautiful. Oh, this one. I had the standard case version for this one back in the day, but I absolutely loved it. Overlander. It had that apocalyptic Mad Maxian vibe to it. And you'll remember you'd buy parts for your car to super up, your turbos, new wheels, new engine, things like that. And it was a little bit like Chase HQ, where you would just sort of follow after baddies. But yeah, this is one of my most memorable driving games from the Spectrum for sure. Really enjoyed that one. How to Be a Complete Bastard. Was it the book it's based on by Aid Edmondson? Need to give that one a bash. Very crass, you sort of wee on people, fart on people, and just cause mayhem. Trantor. Not a great game, but I remember this, and don't you love it where, like now, looking back, when you do a bit of research and someone shows a game and you're like, oh my god, I've completely forgot all about that until this moment. And this was a game I used to enjoy sticking in the Spectrum and playing. The sprite, I remember, your sprite was huge, really, really impressive graphics for the Spectrum, but tricky. And but yeah, I remember it quite well. Guys, what he's wearing, look. Only in the 80s, man. Sci-fi 80s. Right, this one is what I had back in the day, and this is where I played Cosmic Wartoad on this version here. And the others there. Oh, and the other game, Deja Vu. I used to love that game. Again, that was like a little spacecraft, weren't you? Flying around, and all these bizarre enemies, nonsensical enemies that you had to avoid. You used to really enjoy Deja Vu. This one I definitely remember playing around Rob's The Great Escape. He used to love it. I used to enjoy just him playing it because he was really good at it, and I'd just sort of sit back and just watch it. Really good game. Going around, sneaking around your camp, the prison camp, trying to pick up different things to aid you getting out. And you had the flag, didn't you, that was slowly, which was your timer, I think. As soon as it reached the ground, you know, that was it. I think I remember that correct. I've got a couple games here, although some of them probably aren't in order, that I picked up from a fantastic retro game shop up in Cardiff. I can't for the life of me remember what it was called. Pink Gorilla, Purple Potato. No, Super Potatoes in Japan, isn't it? Something like that. Really good, in the Spectrum games were dirt cheap. I haven't played this one, I know nothing about it. It's probably pants, but it's He-Man Masters of the Universe, and I used to love He-Man. I used to love collecting the figures and the cartoon and the sticker book. I've got the sticker book still somewhere. But yeah, God knows what it plays like. Definitely not the Spectrum graphics on the back, way too much colour in there. Green Beret. Classic game as well. This one is highly regarded. I never played it. Head over heels. Still to give that one a good shot. Oh, we got onto the. This is a recent purchase. Through doing my research into some of the Spectrum games on YouTube and things like that, I saw this one and was like, wow, technically this looked superb. And I was like, I've got to try that, you know, track it down and check it out. But it's quite hard to find, quite rare, but I managed to snag this one for an okay price, and it's Nebulous. Never heard of it before. And you're on this kind of, technically it's really good, you're on this kind of rotating tower. Sort of jump onto the tower and you've got to make your way up to the top, and once you get to the top then you'll go on to the next tower, etc, etc. But on the way you've got lifts, things coming into your left and right, and as you're scrolling around the tower, winding your way up, the actual tower seems to be scrolling as well in like this pseudo 3D effect. Really good programming. And the other thing I was surprised to find on this is some excellent music on the title screen, which I'm going to insert right now. I can really imagine that tune being bassed up, pumped up and remixed. I think it sounds really, really good. Might just be me. Let me know in the comments. This game I remember getting one sunny afternoon at a tabletop card boot at our old secondary school. Again, I mentioned this in my Spectrum memories. I remember getting slush puppies with my mate Pete, walking up and we didn't know it was there. The tabletop sale. I had a bit of change in the pocket still and I had a little snoop around. I remember getting some little robot or something, a couple of maybe GoBots or something. And this game for the Spectrum Myth, and it was 20p. Remember the price of it very well, 20p. And it was this version in the box, all complete and lovely. And I loved it. I found it really tricky and it was quite abstract with what you had to do. I don't think it included the manual instructions, so I had to try and figure out what on earth I was doing. But you're this tiny little sprite going left to right through these caverns, and it's quite hellish and nightmarish graphics that you've got there. And yeah, really enjoyed it. Really good game. Batman had this one, great game. Another classic, Chase HQ, really good. Clearly based on Miami Vice there, although mate he looks like Sam Elliott, doesn't he, with his tash, rather than Don Johnson. Midnight Resistance, fantastic cover art. Bob Wakelin. Bless him, look at that, fantastic, love the colours. Fantastic. This is one I had as well. Shadow Warriors. Really enjoyed this one. Don't know what it's like today. Might be absolutely pants. Right, moving up to some bigger box games. Night Law, regarded as a classic. Love these kind of woven linen cases. Really nice, lovely artwork there. That one. Saber Wolf, supposed to be very good. Yeah, you transform into that werewolf, don't you? Another isometric game. And says, I have got it. For some reason, I've been looking at this recently on eBay, and I've already blimmin' got it, which is great. But I remember playing this. This is The Hobbit. Back at my old house and playing it downstairs. In the dining room. I must have set the Spectrum up down there, which I used to do every now and again, just bring it all down and be in the dining room behind the lounge where mum and dad's watching telly. Just felt part of everything then, so I could go and watch TV if I got bored. But I remember playing The Hobbit and not getting very far at all. Go through door and all this business. But yeah, really want to give that one another blast. The idea of going on an adventure was really where it was at for me back then. And games allowed you to do that. You had to use your imagination a fair bit, but that's why I love the medium. On to the big boxes now, and we're going to start off with Barbarian 2. So I love the Barbarian games. 1 was really good as well. Used to enjoy playing this up on my mate's farm, but you had the Commodore 64 version, which I did prefer. Kicking the air. Or the goblin coming in and kicking the head across the floor if you managed to cut the head off with that lovely special move. It was a Web of Death as well, that sort of spinning sword technique, and yeah, great, used to love it. And yeah, Wolfie from Gladiators there. Carrier Command, picked this one up in my last pickups vid. Lovely box art. Really wanted to get into this one, and I tried, but probably didn't try hard enough. Definitely didn't try hard enough to get into it, but you did have to. Good learning curve on this one, having to learn your ship and yeah, go into all the different control aspects of this, your weapons, your engine, your fuel, navigation. Yeah, it was a bit beyond me. This one I never owned on the Spectrum, but when I became a collector I had to get it. I used to go around my mate Andrew's and play this on his Commodore 64, and I absolutely loved it. Loved the music, loved the graphics, and it had a ninja in it. Last Ninja 2. Fantastic game. Used to love it. What it's like on the Spectrum, I do not know. Possibly not as good. Probably not as good. I know the music won't be as good. What have we got here? Robocop. Now, Mr. Bads, quite a while ago, I can't remember what you did, Paul. Didn't you put out some video, and then at the end of it you said if anyone wants this, I've got a better version of it, let me know in the comments below, and I quickly got in there. But yeah, you sent this one to me. Thank you very much, mate. I used to have this box version back in the day. Robocop, fantastic IP. Loved the film. In fact, I'm going to insert a drawing I did when I watched the film up there. Yeah, I remember going to get the video and being so pumped to watch it. Everyone was talking about it. It just looked really cool, and I remember just having the video in my mum's kitchen. I was drawing it on this greyish paper and pencil just before we would put it on in the evening. And yeah, I was only 11 years old, and they let me watch this 18 certificate film. Loads of swearing, cocaine use in there, and obviously extremely violent and gory. Yeah, things you used to watch back in the day. Brilliant. But anyway, back to the game. Game is absolutely fantastic as well. I used to like playing it in the arcade. I used to play it on this Commodore 64. It's fantastic on the Spectrum. The music's excellent. The graphics are excellent. And yeah, just brilliant all-round game. This one is a very important game apparently in just gaming in general. And that's Elite. And I always, ever since watching, God, what was it? It was a Charlie Brooker documentary on important games throughout the generations, and this one was in there, and it just sounded really, really fascinating. The idea of going anywhere and doing anything, this sort of sandbox game. Plays with your moral compass as well. Do you just ship and export fruit and veg and things like that, or do you take weapons and narcotics and things like that, which is a higher risk but a greater reward, and it just plays with your moral compass like that. So yeah, way ahead of its time, this game. It's got all the gubbins in here. It's got your little keyboard, although it won't be good for mine, I don't think. No keyboard thing there, and a bloody great manual. It's got that's for the anti-piracy, isn't it? I haven't even booted this one up, but I do want to give this one a bit of attention. It does sound and look really, really good. So there's that one. Fantastic box art coming up. Be warned. Bob Wakelin again. Batman the Cape Crusader. Never had this one, I only had the movie back in the day, and still haven't even booted this one up. But yeah, that is just 10 out of 10. box art there. This one I had back in the day. I lent it to a mate and I can't remember why, but the bastard borrowed it. It took ages to give it back to me, and when he did, the asshole, he unwound all the tapes. He was writing on all the tapes in cassette, and I think it was because he lent me a game and I genuinely lost it. And he had this at the time and just yeah, damaged it. What bastard, eh? But anyway, on here I didn't really play Super Sprint too much. Renegade was excellent. Renegade 2, Target Renegade was obviously better in my opinion. And 3, there is no 3. Rampage, used to love Rampage. IK Plus, excellent. Barbarian, it's just a great collection of games. Brilliant, and how to get that one back. Right, 2 more to go. Granny's Garden. Didn't know it come out on the Spectrum. I remember playing this in the 4th year primary school on either was it the Acorn or the BBC microcomputer at school. And sometimes at the end of the day, if depending on what lesson, if the teacher was in a good mood, he'd say, yeah, you can have a bash, or if, you know, it was like a mufti day or something, you know, the end of term, things like that, we could play on Granny's Garden for most of the day, and it was, yeah, I used to love it. Just fascinated by the computers back then. It just seemed like this new, fresh world. Didn't know what the hell you were doing, but I was always really interested to have a little tinker with them. Yeah, didn't know this came out on the Spectrum until I saw, without further ado, Retro Big Mike's video, and he picked it up for his +3. I think he got the disc version. And yeah, this is the tape version. It doesn't have the instructions, but only typed out anyway. How to get that? That's just such a nostalgic piece for me. There's that one, and last but by no means least, fantastic box art again, R-Type, and a great conversion for the system. Really good game. So there you go, peeps. Hang on. As I was putting the Spectrum games back on the shelf yesterday, I noticed that there were 3 hiding behind my Master System games, so I want to include these. It would be remiss of me to leave at least 2 of these out anyway. Now, this one, Avenger, I picked up on my little holiday down to Cornwall at that store. I haven't played this one yet, but I've looked at some gameplay and it does look quite interesting, so there's that one. Next one is a classic that I used to love, Ye Are Kung Fu. Used to love this game. No Spectrum game shots on the back there, look. C64 is it, and possibly Amstrad. And then this one, I had this original dual case version of Saboteur. I believe the second one's not supposed to be that good, but I haven't played the second one. But this one was notorious for me. It was very temperamental if it would load or not. But I do remember the opening, don't you sort of hang glide in as a ninja. But yeah, it's actually got the Spectrum screenshots there at the back as well. But yeah, just thought I'd include those 3 games quickly. Thanks very much. Back to the video. I've got probably, I don't know, 10 or so Spectrum games I'm still keeping my eye out for. A few that I'm still learning about. And with the system, there's so many games on here. You're always learning about new ones that sort of tickle your fancy. But yeah, Spectrum holds such a great place in my heart. It's where it all began for me, truly, with gaming and things like that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment below. That's what it's all about. That's what I really enjoyed, you know, getting into discussions with you guys about some of the games. Let me know your thoughts and things about them, and let me know what games I should check out. And until next time, take care everyone, and I'll see you again.